English translation 342nd contact. Friday, 18th of April 2003, 23:24 hours.
As a greeting, I wish you love and joy.
You bring me both. Thank you. You are kind of cheerful, but it is my pleasure to welcome and greet you.
Indeed, I am happy and cheerful.
And what reason is that?
The same reason that you always give me when I ask you about your cheerfulness. Freedom and happiness when we are in contact. That I can see you and talk to you, even if only briefly. That I have a very dear and precious friend in you, and that I enjoy life.
You flatter me in a very love-worthy wise. But it pleases me, and I thank you for it. But I guess you come here because Injana told you that I had an accident and that I am a bit battered?
Yes, that is the reason for my visit today, besides the fact that I want to talk to you about some private matters. What happened? Your hand does not look very pleasant.
It happened during forestry work, in the early Saturday evening of the 12th of April. A branch snapping back tore me from my legs and threw me to the ground. I injured my left knee and hit the ground with my face, splintering my glasses and slightly injuring my cheek. With my left shoulder, I then caught the fall a little more, but also with my hand, whereby I suffered a bloody injury at the ball of my hand and a sprain and strain on my wrist, arm, and hand itself. On Sunday the hand, the fingers, and the wrist were so swollen and bluish discolored, and also with pain that I could not use the hand anymore. As a result, I had to see a doctor on Sunday afternoon as an emergency, who gave me medication and fitted me with a wrist stabilization splint, which I still wear now, as you can see.
The hand with its swelling looks really bad. I am going to remove the support splint now to heal your suffering. After that, I will also treat your knee. So that is it. You still feel pain in your hand?
No, terrific. Even the swelling is gone.
Everything is fine now, but you should not overstrain your hand for the next 2 or 3 weeks. Now show me your knee. Here, let me help you, so this is now also intact again. You should not need the bandage anymore, so you can remove it.
The pain and the swelling are gone. Thank you, my dear. Now I can work again without any worries.
You should take my advice about not straining your hand in the near future.
Oh, yes, of course. I will have to take it easy on my hand a little bit, even if it is hard with all the work I have.
You should heed my words, dear friend. But that was my visit already because my duty calls me again. Goodbye, and mark my words.
Goodbye, girl. And thank you very much. By the way, has something new come up with Ptah?
I have forgotten that. He sends his regards. Everything goes well with his expedition, which also discovered technological things that testify to more highly developed life of a human nature. It is a highly technological probe drifting through space, but its originators have not yet been found.
There can be no doubt that the origin of the object will be found, since Ptah and his team will surely follow the probe's trail of origin, and sooner or later find the makers.
That will certainly be the case. But now I really must go. Goodbye, dear friend.
Yes, take care. Send my greetings to everyone. Sachlomie.
An experience of a special kind article also published in Stimme der Wassermannszeit number 128, September 2003.
On Monday, 14th April 2003, I arrived at the center in Hinterschmidruti in the late afternoon. Billy came in and I noticed that he had his wrist bandaged and that it had apparently had an accident, so I asked how that happened. He then explained to me that he had had an accident while doing forestry because a strong branch knocked his legs away and he fell. In the process, he severely damaged his left knee, which was badly torn open. He also broke his glasses because his face hit the ground and injured it slightly. Finally, He pulled a sprain and a strain on his right hand, wrist, and arm when he caught his hand while falling to the ground. An evil that hit him especially hard, because as a one-armed man he was now completely disabled. In addition, this type of injury can last for several weeks until a reasonably complete healing occurs. So Billy had to go to the doctor on Sunday afternoon as an emergency, who fitted him with a wrist stabilization splint. You can imagine what that meant for Billy. And if you know him, you know that this is one of the worst things that could happen to him, because it kept him from all his work. Billy then said that he was trying to contact Florina, a Pleiaren friend, telepathically to get help from her and be freed from the evil. Florina, however, did not respond to his call because she probably had to go about her duties and work elsewhere, and was therefore out of reach. He went on to say that she would certainly come here on Thursday, since every Thursday evening, in collaboration with the Pleiaren, Billy and Bernadette carried out the revision of the Simya-Se blocks, and the corrections inserted by Simya-Se and Billy are used, which Amata Stetter had omitted for indefinable reasons when writing the reports for general information. The Pleiaren collaboration is done in telepathic form. On Saturday morning, the 19th of April, I came back to the center to work. I asked at the table whether Billy had been helped by the Pleiaren, whereupon Christina told me that she had seen Billy on Friday evening, still with the bandage and the still thickly swollen hand. Bernadette told me that Florina unfortunately did not have time on Thursday evening, but Injana had come to do the correction work, but she did not have an emergency kit with her to help Billy and to heal the severe sprain and strain. Around noon, Billy came into the kitchen and, oh wonder, his arm and wrist were without bandage. Also, his hand and fingers were no longer swollen or discolored, and this 6 days after the accident. 6 days to heal from a severe sprain and strain. I have to say that I have never experienced such an injury before, and it is, as everyone who has ever suffered such an injury himself knows, simply impossible. Also, his injured knee was completely okay again. But this was only possible with the help of extraterrestrial medical technology, which is many times ahead of ours. Only in this way could this miracle happen. No earthly instrument or medicine is able to perform such a miracle today. And this time I also witnessed one of the many times when group members or passive members or other people could see with their own eyes that here in Hinterschmidruti, the truth is truth, and that here, among many other things, things often happen that outsiders can only wonder about, cannot understand the whole thing, because they lack plausible explanations. Also regarding the fact that extraterrestrial life really does exist, people from distant worlds, who have found a place in the Simya-Se Silver Star Center in Hinterschmidruti, where they sometimes stay. A fact that does not really matter to me personally, because it has been clear to me ever since I can remember that we cannot be the only intelligent life forms in the entire universe and beyond. It is simply impossible. And as the experience I have described in relation to Billy shows, we here on the earth, as we always magnanimously and arrogantly believe, are not the most intelligent in the universe. Quite the opposite. If we would finally begin to really understand how the interrelationships of being human work, and if we would be aware of our own responsibility and realize what our actual task as human beings is, then we would also descend from our high horse and begin to see things as they really are. In fact, we are only at the beginning of our long journey of evolution and still have a lot to learn. Why on earth do we not finally begin to see and accept the real truth in order to move forward consciously? If we did that, we might be able to heal such injuries in a very short time, like Billy had, and had them healed by the Pleiaren. We would have what it takes, but most people lack confidence in their own abilities. and there is a lack of confidence in using one's own mind and rationality. And only if we build up our trust in ourselves for our own abilities and possibilities, things can one day become better here in our beautiful world. But no imaginary, non-existent God or other idol or saint or whatever I know is capable of this, but only each individual human being with his or her own rationality, his or her intellect, as well as with his or her energy and power, and with his or her very own will. 23rd April 2003, Andrea Gressel, Switzerland.